हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with this dhyana shloka. मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित परब्रह्म तत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्ते वसदृशिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीढे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले Vruddha Shishya Gurur Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarvalokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishwaro Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishwaro Gururatmiti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai Om Namah Shivaya 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 Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Hari Om Hari Om. We will begin by chanting the two shlokas which we have studied. So shloka number 1 and 2. Let us chant. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam Pashyannatmani mayaya bahiribodbhutam yatha nitraya Yat sakshat kurute prabodha samaye swatmanameva dvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Bijasyantarivānkuro Jagadidam Pranirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Deshakala Kalanam Vaichitra Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vidrumbayatyapi Maha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Hari Om. So this is a very beautiful composition of Bhagwan Shri Adi Shankaracharya Ji, the 10 shlokas of Shri Dakshinamurty Stotram, in which he gives the gist of the teachings of Vedanta. So in the first verse, Bhagwan does namaskar to Shri Dakshinamurty, who is the teacher, who has directly realized the self which is Advayam, which is one without a second. Means other than the self, nothing is there. And this whole world is seen within the self only. So this world is not different from the self. The world appears to be different for an ignorant person. The world appears to be born as though outside because of the amazing power of that supreme Atma, that supreme Brahma, That power is called Maya. Just as in our own dream, our own mind creates the world and also the experiencer of the world, dream world. In the same way, this Maya creates this world and the experiencer of this world. But really speaking, everything is that one supreme reality called Brahma. And that Brahma is not different from our own self. Our self alone is there. But there is this strange phenomenon, strange thing called Avidya, that is ignorance. It is also called Ajnana. It is there from the beginningless time, means from the very beginning, or beginningless, without a cause, that avidya is there, because of which there is misunderstanding about myself and misunderstanding about this world. So that misunderstanding is called adhyas. So as long as this jiva is having this avidya, we will experience sorrow, we will experience pain, we will experience this samsara. So the only way to become free of all our sorrow and to gain that supreme bliss, the only way is to realize our own self, is to gain knowledge of our own self. Our self is most amazing. The Atma is very amazing. We know the presence of the self. We know our own existence. But we don't know exactly who am I. So my existence is known, but my real nature is not known. So that has to be realized. The Upanishads categorically tell me that you are Brahma. But this Brahma is just another name for me. So what is this Brahma? Again, the Upanishads, they tell me that this entire world which you see, the source or the very cause from where this world has come, in which this world is sustained, in which this world gets dissolved, that is Brahma. So through the world, that Brahma is indicated, through the world, the knowledge of Brahma is given. But this world is not really different from Brahma. This world is an expression of the power of Brahma, called Maya. And that Maya is really not different from Brahma. Maya and Brahma are one only. But in order to teach us, the Shastras use this technique. That technique of teaching us our own supreme nature, that technique of the Shastra is called Adhyarop and Apavad. The technique of Adhyarop and Apavad means what? The Shastras, they assume something in the beginning, and then once that knowledge is given, that assumption also gets resolved. Just like in mathematics, if we have to solve some some problem is given. So some workers are there. Let us say in 1 hour they do this much of work. Then in 24 hours, how much work they will do, something like that. Some problems are there. So we use the technique of assuming something. We say, let the answer be X. We don't know what is that X. So we use that X in the mathematical equation. And finally, we come to understand the value of X. In the same way, in order to teach us that Supreme Brahma, the Upanishads, they start from our level. And what is our level? Because of Avidya, we experience Dvaita. We experience duality. I am different, the world is different. That is the duality. In order to remove this duality and to teach me that Advaita, the Upanishad also, in the beginning, assumes a duality. And that duality which is assumed by the Upanishad, by the Rishis, by the Vedanta teachers, that is the Adhyarop, and that duality which is assumed is this of Maya. Brahma and Maya are not really two. They are one only. But in order to teach us, they say, let us say that there is the Shakti of Brahma, which is really there, which is Maya, but which is not different from Brahma. But then let us talk about that Shakti and how through that Shakti that Brahma creates this world. So when that Maya is taken as though different from Brahma, then that Brahma is indicated as Ishwara and his Shakti as this Maya. Then how from that Maya, Ishwara first creates Hiranyagarbha, who is also ultimately not different from Ishwara and not different from Brahma. But then to make us understand, he is indicated as though different. Then Hiranyagarbha gives birth to Vishwanara. Vishwanara gives birth to all the other jivas, all the devatas, and finally human beings also. So my body is created by the powers of Bhagwan called Maya, and this world is also the creation of that Maya. So I am experiencing this world as though different from me. Then slowly the teachers tell me to identify not with my single body, but says that you identify with the entire gross physical world. Don't consider yourself as the limited individual, but understand yourself as this Vishwanara. Identify yourself with Vishwanara. Understand yourself as Vishwanara. Look at yourself from the standpoint of Ishwara. Once I learn this, then the Shastra says, identify with Hiranyagarbha. Thereafter, identify with Ishwara, and finally understand yourself as Brahma. So this is the technique of Adhyarop and Apavad. So that Brahma, who is Ishwara, has got this power of what you call of amazing power, indescribable power called Maya, and through that Maya he projects this world. So Maya kalpita deshakal bijasyantarivam kuro jagadidam prag nirvikalpam punaha. So the whole world first exists in that Ishvara in unmanifest form. When the entire world goes into pralay, it exists in that Ishvara in unmanifest form. Just like when all the gold ornaments are melted, they just dissolve and just exist like gold. So when the whole world gets dissolved, all the names and forms get dissolved, it just exists like that supreme Brahma alone, like that Ishvara. And then from that Ishvara alone, spontaneously, Hiranyagarbha is born. And from Hiranyagarbha, then Vaishvanara is born. And all the other beings are born. And this variety of worlds are born. So Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana, the space and time, and Vaichitra Chitre Kritam, and the variety of names and forms are born. The whole world is so very, very, very vast and so very fantastic. And all this is the expression of that Brahma only, who is the absolute truth, the absolute reality alone is expressing as this world. And how does he do this? Bhagavan gives two examples. He says, Mayavi iva vijrumbayati. Mahayogi iva vijrumbayati. How does Ishvara does this miracle? He says, like a great magician. Mayavi iva. You must have seen some magicians doing some tricks. See, the magician, he shows us something which is so fantastic, which is really not like that. It is something else only. But we start seeing it in a different way. For example, a magician brings a big box, a long rectangular, what you call a longish box, and that his beautiful assistant, the girl, also comes, and he makes that girl lie down in that box. He closes that box. The head of the girl is protruding out from one side, and her feet is seen on the other side of the box. And then the magician cuts the box in half with a huge saw. He cuts the box into half. People are shocked, and he separates the box, and you can see the head of this girl on this one half of the box, and her legs are there seen on the other half of the box. He turns the box also. The legs are moving, the head is moving. We are surprised, we are shocked. And then he brings the two boxes together and opens the box, and lo, great miracle, the girl comes out of that box completely intact, harmless. not a drop of blood on our body. So we are surprised. Some magicians, they just pick up a hat, show it to the audience, it is totally empty, and then just brings out a rabbit from that horse, from that hat. But if we observe, though the audience is very surprised, we find the assistants of the magician and all are not so surprised because they know the secret. They know that there are two girls in that box, or that rabbit was hidden under the table and then it was taken out. So the magician shows us something. What we see is really not as it is. What is the reality is something different. That is the power of that magician. Similarly, Bhagwan, Ishwara also is like a great magician, not an ordinary magician. He shows us this world which is really not like this. He is showing himself as this world. But he is really not like this. That Ishwara, Brahma is changeless, is pure existence. Satyam doesn't change. But when we look at this world, everything is changing. Everything changes. So that is the magical power of that Ishvara to show himself as though he is changing. Ishvara is jnanam, pure knowledge. But out of his own magic, he shows himself as jada, as inert. This whole world is seen as inert. That supreme Brahma, Ishvara, is infinite, not limited by anything. But as a world, he shows himself as though limited, as though bound, as though having so many parts. Again, that Brahma, there is no division of seer and seen. There is no division of knower and known. There is no division of experiencer and experienced. But by his own magical power, he shows himself as the seer as well as the seen. All of us, all the jivas, are expression of Bhagwan's magical power only. And all this which we see is also expression of Bhagwan's magical power. Just as in our dream, we not only create the world, but we also create the experiencer of that world. We not only create a fantastic world in our dream, but we actually participate in that world. Similarly, by Ishvara's that Maya, this world is made, and we see this world. We become the seer, the experiencer of this world. So what are our senses? The senses are also made by this Maya only. What is this mind with which we feel? It is also a product of Maya. What is this intellect by which we understand? That's also a product of Maya. What is this ahankar? That is also a product of Maya. So mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, pancha jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, all these are expressions of this Maya only. So Mayavi Iva, like a magician, Bhagwan just produces this world. He just thinks and the whole world comes into manifestation, like a magic show. Like our electronic magics which we have, we just click a key and we see the whole video come up with so many varieties we can see. Nowadays, so many new equipments and instruments and things have come, gadgets have come. It's quite amazing. We don't even have to click a button or do anything. We have to just speak out. We can just tell and it just happens. We have Siris and we have Alexas and we have so many other things. We just listen to our command. Not only that we have to be at home to give command, we can give from a distance also. Before we reach home, we can just switch on the AC, we can switch on the lights, we can even start the machines, washing machines and all those things. So it's an amazing thing which is happening, which we are experiencing, which is just nothing but the play of all these electrons, protons, neutrons, which follow the laws of physics. Similarly, that Ishwara, by his own command, he just produces this whole world like a magician, makes us see something which is impossible. The seer himself is impossible, and what is seen itself is impossible. Mayavi iva vijrumbayati. Another example is given here. Mahayogi iva, like a great yogi. See, the Shastras give many examples because every example may have their own limitations. Examples have to be understood properly. They have their own limitations. So, with the example of this magician, we may think that that Bhagwan is showing us something which is not true. He's just deluding us. But no, Bhagwan creates it actually like a yogi. A yogi is one who just out of nothing, it appears as though he's producing something out of nothing. There are great yogis with great Shakti, having great miraculous powers, that they as though produce something out of thin air. You feel like eating an apple, and you approach a yogi, and he just produces it and gives it to you. But that too happens according to the laws of nature only. Because the 5 elements are there everywhere, and everything is made from these 5 elements only. And the great yogis, they have powers over these 5 elements that they can just do anything. Like Sant Naneshwar Maharaj had power over inert objects also. It is believed, it is said that he even moved a wall. All 4 brothers and sisters were sitting on a wall. Sant Naneshwar Maharaj, Nivritti, Muktabai, Sopan, they were sitting on a wall. Then they came to know that a great yogi has come and he wants to meet them. So Naneshwar Maharaj said that yogi has come to meet us. And the yogi was sitting on a tiger, and he had controlled that tiger. Sangdev, his name was Sangdev. And he was holding a snake as a rope in his hand to show that he had total control over all these beings. And he was coming to meet Sant Naneshwar Maharaj. And Sant Naneshwar Maharaj thought that a great yogi is coming to meet us, so we should also go forward and meet him. So they were just sitting on a wall. So he made the wall move. So the entire wall moved towards that yogi. And when the yogi saw, he said, I can only control living beings, few of them, but here Sant Naneshwar Maharaj can control even the inert objects. So he must be a greater yogi than me. So that yogi came and did namaskar to Naneshwar Bhagwan, Naneshwar Maharaj. So such stories are there where great yogis can also do miraculous things, which may appear to be totally impossible, but they are seen directly. They are not illusions like a magician, but they are actually seen, actually it is there. Like Vishwamitraji created a complete Swarga by his power. Similarly, Ishwara by his power of Maya actually creates this world. Means this world is really there. Ishwara alone is expressing as this world. Means everything we touch in this world, we are touching Ishwara only. Just as when something is created, let us say out of gold, ornaments are there. When you touch the ornaments, you are touching gold. Suppose I don't know that it is gold. I can only see the ornaments. When I touch that ornament, unknowingly, I am touching gold only. I may not know. Similarly, whatever I see, hear, taste, touch in this world, we are experiencing that Ishvara alone. Therefore, in Gita, Bhagavan says that I am there everywhere. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashishurya yoho. That I am rasa in water. The taste, when you drink water, the taste which you get is me only. When you look at the sun and the moon, the brilliance which you see there, it is me. I am there. When you feel the breeze on your body, that is me. When you see the beautiful sunrise, sunset, the beautiful flowers blooming, their fragrance, that is me. I am it. I alone am there in that form. So like a great yogi, Bhagwan has created this whole world. But how? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Actually, the purpose of this world, Bhagwan creates for the benefit of the jivas only, so that we will be able to recognize our own supreme self. Also to fulfill all our desires. We have so many desires out of our own avidya. Our mind, our intellect gets filled with countless desires. Until they are satisfied, we become restless. Just like little children, they are restless. They are hungry. They want to play. They want to eat. So the kind, compassionate mother She cooks and feeds them. She cooks those things which are favorite of those children. One child likes one thing and another child likes something else. So she prepares two types of food for them. They want to play, so the mother plays with them. Mother can't run so fast, but still she plays, she runs, she hides. Because she's full of compassion and want to just make her children happy. Similarly, Ishwara, like a very compassionate and loving mother, wanting to make all of us happy, he created this world. And to suit every type of beings, a complex world is created. Birds, animals, plants, different types of devatas, all of them are living in this world. All of them have different desires, different needs at different times. All of them are fulfilled by Ishwara. He takes care of them. Most amazing. And also, finally, Bhagwan gives us opportunity to become free of this samsara also. Because without this world, without the manifestation of this world, we will never know that Brahma. It is like, suppose I know something. You will know what I know only when I speak, when I tell you, when I convey it to you. Otherwise, it will remain hidden in my mind. Similarly, that Brahma will remain hidden. So in order to realize, in order to reveal that Brahma, it expresses as this world. So bhukti and mukti, to give us bhukti as well as mukti, Bhagwan creates this world out of his own compassion, not as compulsion, out of his own free will. Therefore the word used here is swechaya, by his own ichha, by his own will, Bhagwan creates this world. See, we have this Avidya, which is different from Maya. Because of this Avidya, we don't understand ourselves and we don't understand this world properly. We have misunderstanding about ourselves and this world. This Avidya is very strange. Avidya is beginningless, means there is no cause for Avidya. There is no cause. It was always there. See, now at present, I, as a Jiva, is not aware of my own supreme nature as Brahma. So if I am ignorant about my own self now, because of which there is identification with this body, identification with the mind, because of which I consider myself as karta, bhokta, jnata, because of which I perform different types of actions which gives rise to different results. And the results are different births which you have to take in different life forms. So if I have taken birth in this body, that means I was present in the past in some other body performing some karma. Because the result of those karma only has given rise to this body and this birth. That means I had a birth before, I had a body before, I was performing karma before, I was identified with the body, mind before. That means I was ignorant before also. So in order to have that body in my past life, I must be ignorant and having a body before that also. So if in this way, if you go, you will find that the ignorance was always there. So ignorance is beginningless. But ignorance is an absence. Means I don't know is called ignorance. I don't know that I am Brahma. That is called ignorance. And it can be eliminated through knowledge. Suppose I don't know something in this world. When I come to know about it, then that ignorance gets eliminated. Similarly, when I gain knowledge of my own self, the ignorance about myself get eliminated. So, this avidya, which is beginningless, makes us see and experience this world in a very different way, experience myself in a different way. So I am really that Brahma, but because of this avidya, I experience myself as a JIva, I experience myself as karta, bhokta, jnata. Again, this world in front of me is really Brahma, means it is Sat, but I experience it as something different only. I don't experience that world as Brahma, but I experience this world as something else only. So all this is the play of avidya. See, there are certain words which you have to understand properly. There are certain words, the definition of those words are very important. Let me just explain few words. One is Sat. Sat. Another word is Asat. Another word is Asatyam. And one more word is Mithya. Let us try to understand these four words. Sat, Asat, Asatyam, and Mithya. Okay? Sat means changeless existence. Changeless existence. Sat means existence. You cannot say anything more about it. It is just existence. That which exists. Asat means that which doesn't exist. Non-existent. Asatyam. Asatyam means that which exists but is constantly changing. Changing existence is called asatyam. And mithya is something which is existing only in my mind, not outside. Let us take an example. You can see this mouse. So this mouse is there. This mouse actually is made up of plastic. That mouse which is made up of plastic is appearing like a mouse. So mouse is there, which is appearing like a mouse. So, the reality behind this is that plastic, which is appearing like this mouse. But when I look at it, when I look at this mouse, suppose I don't know that it is made up of plastic, then I will just have that understanding that it is a real mouse. That it is a real mouse. So what my eyes are seeing is a mouse which is made up of plastic. But what my buddhi is telling me that it is a real mouse. So the real mouse is existing only in my mind. So that it is not there outside. So that mouse which is existing only in my mind and not outside, it's called mithya. That which is existing outside but is seen in a particular way is just apparent. It's the apparent reality. But what is really behind this is that plastic. So let us apply this to this world. This world which you see is really Brahma, who is existence, who is Sat. That Brahma alone is seen as this world, which is constantly changing. The world which we see is constantly changing. That which exists but constantly change is called asatyam. So what my eyes are seeing is not false. What my eyes are seeing as this world is not false. It is there, world is there, and it is constantly changing. But because of ignorance, I don't know that this world is really Brahma. So in my buddhi, I have understanding of this world without knowing that it is Brahma. So that understanding which I have in my buddhi, devoid of Brahma, that understanding of the world devoid of Brahma which I have in my buddhi is wrong knowledge, which is really not there outside. There cannot be a world devoid of Brahma. So that knowledge which I have in my buddhi of a world devoid of Brahma is mithya. What my eyes are seeing is not mithya. What my buddhi is understanding, misunderstanding is mithya. Like this mouse. If my eyes are seeing it like a mouse, what my eyes are seeing is not wrong. But if I don't know that it is made up of plastic and I assume it to be a real mouse, then my assumption, my understanding is mithya, is wrong. So this world, which is there in front of us, the Shastras call it asatyam. Asatyam is a technical word. Asatyam means it is there, it is present, but it is constantly changing. Changing existence. Because its existence depends on Brahma. Just like ornaments, their existence depends on gold. Without gold, ornaments cannot exist. Similarly, without that Brahma, the world cannot exist. So the existence of this world depends on Brahma. So the world is really there, but constantly changing. But in my understanding, if I don't recognize that Brahma, then my understanding is wrong. I am holding a wrong world in my head. That world which I am holding in my head wrongly is mithya. And when I understand that this world is Brahma, then that mithya world will disappear and I will see this world as Brahma only. So avidya is my weakness. Avidya is the weakness of a jiva, whereas maya is the shakti of Ishwara. Maya is something which is existing. Maya is not different from Ishwara. Maya cannot be negated. Maya can be transcended. Avidya is an absence. Through knowledge, this avidya gets eliminated. Avidya is not there in Brahma. So this we have to understand very properly. Because I'm stressing this because a lot of people, they equate Maya and Avidya. They say Maya and Avidya are same. Which is totally wrong. Maya is Tribunatmika. Avidya is not Tribunatmika. Maya creates the world. Avidya doesn't create the world. Avidya creates confusion. Maya is something positive. Avidya is negative. Maya doesn't disturb Brahma because it is his Shakti. Avidya causes confusion and sorrow in our life. Maya is under the power, under the control of Ishwara. But avidya makes us helpless. So Ishwara, by his own power of Maya, by his own will, free will, he creates this world. Swechaya, Mayavi iva vijrumbayati api mahayogiva yah swechaya tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. To that Dakshinamurti, my namaskar. We will conclude here. Please, you listen to this pravachan again carefully, contemplate on it, especially remember very properly the main point that Maya and Avidya are different. Many Vedanta teachers, they talk about Maya and Avidya as same. And when you call it same, the whole structure of Vedanta gets disrupted. Because if you say Maya and Avidya are same, then you will have to say Ishwara is ignorant, which is a blasphemous statement. Ishwara is Sarvajna Sarva Shaktiman. If we say world is not there, world is asat, world is non-existent, then we will also have to say Ishwara is non-existent. Because how can Ishwara be there creating a non-existent world? So all these things are very important to comprehend properly. So listen to the pravachan again. More about this we will see in our next class. Next class we will see the next Shloka, wherein it is conveyed how this world is the expression of that Brahma and how we can comprehend that Brahma as our own self. So till then you take care. Next class we will have on Monday. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, have a wonderful weekend, do your work, do your sadhana, and we will meet again on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siyavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.